We're back. Just before the break, we were talking about the union failure, the defeat at that Volkswagen plant, and some response now coming on Twitter. Sick and Tired says, well, maybe the union vote failed because they saw what unions did to the steel mills and coal mines in the Mon Valley. And also tonight, just in general, Time and Out says, Obamacare, Fast and Furious, IRS, Benghazi executive orders. Don't blame Republicans. If not for the Tea Party, it would be worse. And then on Facebook, harrisfaulkner.com/harrisfaulkner. Amanda Lee Windsor writes of her own party, we are so disgusted with the Republicans, we may just stay home and not vote in the primary. The Republicans should be standing up and fighting this president, and they are not. Pat?
Well, I think that's true. And I think that it speaks, when we talked about, speaks to a larger question, the crony capitalism of that deal. But the Republicans basically have laid down people who believe, yes, Obama administration is just as bad or worse, but the Republicans will not fight them as a principled opposition.
The American dream is something you want to talk about.
Well, we have a new McClatchy poll that shows that 80% of Americans today say that achieving the American dream will be harder for their children than it was for them, which is the exact opposite of many generations who said things will be better for my children than they were for me. And under this administration, that thing has turned rapidly.
Well, that's interesting because that's actually something that a party could run on. Right, Doug?
Yeah,
Doug, are you there? Is that true? Am I right or wrong?
That's absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Harris. You couldn't be more correct. Bottom line, this is a rigged system.
I love it when he says I'm right.
People. You're absolutely right, because the bottom line is there's no pro-growth, inclusive strategy from either side to create jobs, to educate our kids, to provide real and meaningful retirement security. Bottom line, those issues aren't talked about. You have a political class, as Pat and John compellingly have talked about, that protects their own interests, and you see people saying, at least the Tea Party is honest, workers voting against unions. Bottom line, it's a rejection of the status quo, Harris, and it's an endorsement of fundamental change.
Real quickly, Independent 02 on Twitter says, Tea Party, seriously, you're saying they're the answer? Yeah,
no,
right.
No, it is not. There is a much bigger coalition. Underlying all the cynicism and anger in this country is what really is missing is a vision for what Doug is talking about, but a resurgent America against the corruption and for the American dream and the American people. That will sweep up the country.
You literally get the last word. There's Olivia. Your grandchild did well at the Westminster Dog Show.